everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, and welcome to this week's episode of What Happened in the DSE. My name is Aisa Omari, and I'll be taking you through what happened in the equities market, the Treasury bond market, and the corporate bond market. As always, let's begin with the equities market. Now, the graph above basically shows us the different days of the week and how much was traded in terms of shares during that week, respectively. Now, shares traded during the week amounted to 1.369 billion shares. And to break this down in terms of volume, which means the number of shares trading during the week, this was 3,587,572 shares. The number one company that had the shares traded the most during the week was CRDB. As you can see from the graph above, each day shows exactly how much, what was the closing price for that day. And you'll notice that on Friday, there was a very large number of shares which are traded. And this is because of a block trade, which is, in short, is basically an entity that purchases a very large amount of shares. And with that, they have the right to negotiate the price. And for number two, we have NMB. And NMB, as you can see during the week, we have the different closing prices, with Tuesday being the day with the most trading of NMB shares. And finally, we have JATU shares, which are also traded, was also one of the top movers during the week. Okay, and when we go into the specific days, on Monday we have EABL with a decrease, KCB and NMG, which are all cross-listed companies from the Nairobi Securities Exchange. But we also have JATU experiencing an increase. And on Tuesday, we find that DSE, JATU, KCB and NMG have all experienced an increase, with EABL being the only one experiencing a decrease. Now, with DSE, it's good to note that during the quarter of July to September, its liquidity had increased, and this shows from their equity turnover for that quarter, which was 34.5 billion, and it had increased by around 16.9% compared to the previous quarter, which was 29.5 billion. Now, basically what this tells us is that investor participation has increased in this quarter compared to the previous quarter. And this is a very good sign for the shareholders or the investors of DSE. And then on Tuesday, we also see EABL and KCB being the only ones experiencing an upward trend in price, while JATU, NICO, and NMG have all experienced a downward one. All right, coming down to the two last days of the week. On Thursday, CRDB, EABL, JATU have all experienced an increase, while NMG has experienced a decrease. Then on Friday, we all end on a negative note, as CRDB, EABL, and TCCL have all experienced a decrease. Over here, we have a table showing us the closing prices of all the companies that have been listed on Friday, just so everybody can have a perspective for when we start trading this week. Okay, so moving over to the Treasury bond market, the total amount of Treasury bonds that were traded during the week were 63.27 billion. And with the graph above, we're just going to look at each day and which bonds were traded the most during that day. So with Monday, it was mostly traded 20-year bonds with a coupon of 15.49%. Same as Tuesday, it was also 20-year bonds. Wednesday as well. Thursday was mostly 10-year bonds, a coupon of 11.44%. And then ending on Friday, we also have mostly 20-year bonds with coupon rates of 15.49%. And as we know, this coupon rate amount means that you will be receiving that much percentage of however much that you've invested. All right, guys, and now we have a Treasury bond auction coming up for this Wednesday. And this is a really exciting one. This is the 25-year Treasury bond. And the reason I'm saying it's exciting is because this bond is, it's the bond that offers the highest coupon rate of 15.95%. And the last time that this bond was auctioned, it was oversubscribed, which meant that a lot of people were demanding this bond, a lot more than the government was even offering to provide. The government had wanted to offer 133 billion, but it was oversubscribed by 452 billion, meaning that they received offers of worth 452 billion more than they had needed. And Yeah, that's crazy. It basically tells us that there's a very high demand for this particular bond. So, for those who are planning on participating this time around, keep that in mind. The minimum successful price to go through was 100.1035. Okay, finishing off, we have our corporate bond trading as per always. Tuesday is the only day that had any kind of corporate bonds which were traded, and this was an Exim Bank bond worth 10 million, and it has a coupon of 15.56%, which means that if you had invested in this particular bond, you would be receiving 15.56% of that amount. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I hope this video has been informative and insightful and has brought value to you. Now, please feel free to interact with A Trader in any of our social media platforms and contact us in case of any other questions. Have a great week ahead, and karibuni sana.